Imagine this, it's a late Friday night and you suddenly feel severe chest pain. You rush to the nearest emergency room, scared and anxious, not knowing what's coming next. Hours later, after tests, scans, and treatments, you finally breathe a sigh of relief, but then the bill arrives. Your heart sinks again. Thousands of dollars, even though you thought your insurance would cover it. Sounds familiar? You're not alone. Every year, millions of Americans face surprise emergency room bills simply because they didn't fully understand how their insurance actually works. What seems like protection on paper can quickly turn into a financial nightmare if you are not prepared. Welcome to Invest Harbor, the channel where we break down complicated financial and insurance topics into clear, actionable advice. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects almost everyone at some point in their life: emergency room visits and how your insurance really covers them. Most people assume that if they have health insurance, every visit is fully covered, but the reality is far more complex. From deductibles and co-pays to in-network versus out-of-network providers, there are hidden pitfalls that can leave you with bills you weren't expecting. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how emergency room billing works, what your insurance usually covers, the mistakes people make that lead to high costs, and proven strategies to save money when you or someone you love needs emergency care. Stick with me because knowing this information could save you thousands of dollars and spare you unnecessary stress. Even a single visit could make a huge difference if you know how to navigate the system correctly. When you walk into an emergency room, the first thing you probably notice is the organized chaos. Nurses rushing, monitors beeping, patients waiting in pain. But behind the scenes, there's a complex billing system at work. Emergency room bills are not just one simple number, they're made up of multiple components. First, there's the facility fee, which covers the use of the hospital, its equipment, and staff. Then, the physician fee, which is separate from the hospital charge, covers the doctor who treats you. On top of that, labs, imaging tests like X-rays or CT scans, and medications all come with their own costs. Even something as simple as an 4-drip or a bandage can be billed individually. Another important point is the difference between emergency care, urgent care, and telemedicine. Many people assume visiting any medical facility will cost the same, but ERs are typically the most expensive due to the 24/7 readiness and specialized staff. Understanding the components of your bill helps you see where costs come from and why insurance may not cover everything. Knowing this breakdown can save you confusion and frustration when the final bill arrives. Now, let's talk about what insurance usually covers during an emergency room visit. Most Americans have some form of health insurance, whether it's employer-provided, private, or government-backed like Medicare or Medicaid. But having insurance doesn't mean you're fully protected from high costs. First, you have deductibles, the amount you must pay out of pocket before insurance kicks in. Then there's copay, which is a fixed fee for visiting the ER, and coinsurance, which is a percentage of the total bill you must cover. It's also critical to understand in-network versus out-of-network providers. If the hospital or doctor is out of network, your insurance might cover a much smaller portion or none at all. Some plans cover emergency services more generously, but the rules can vary widely. Additionally, some lab tests or imaging services may require prior authorization, and failing to meet these requirements can lead to denied claims. The takeaway is this: your insurance provides a safety net, but it doesn't erase costs completely. Knowing exactly what your plan covers before or during an emergency can prevent huge financial surprises. Always check your plan's coverage and ask questions upfront whenever possible. Even with insurance, many people make mistakes that lead to sky-high emergency room bills. The first mistake is using the AA for non-emergency situations. It's tempting to visit the AA for minor issues, but urgent care centers or telemedicine options are usually much cheaper and more appropriate for non-life-threatening problems. Second, not checking network coverage is a huge trap. Many assume their insurance will cover any e-visit, but going out of network can lead to denied claims or partial payments. Another common mistake is assuming insurance covers everything. Lab tests, medications, and imaging procedures often carry additional costs. Patients sometimes don't realize that even small copays can add up, especially if multiple specialists are involved. Ignoring prior authorization requirements is also a frequent problem. Certain procedures or tests may need approval from your insurance provider, and skipping this step can lead to denied claims. Finally, many people don't review their bills carefully. Errors happen frequently in medical billing, from duplicate charges to incorrect service codes. Always request an itemized bill. Compare it with your insurance statement and question anything that looks off. Avoiding these mistakes can save you thousands of dollars and reduce stress during an already difficult time. While e-visits are inherently expensive, there are several strategies to minimize costs and protect your wallet. First, consider whether your situation truly requires an e-visit. For non-life-threatening conditions, urgent care centers or telehealth consultations are often much cheaper. Even a nurse hotline can help you decide if a hospital visit is necessary. If you do visit the AAA, ask about negotiating your bill afterward. Hospitals sometimes have financial assistance programs, payment plans, or discounts for patients who can pay up front. Always review the itemized bill for errors. Overbilling is surprisingly common. Another key strategy is understanding your out-of-pocket maximum. Once you hit that limit, your insurance covers 100% of additional expenses for the year. So knowing where you stand can guide financial decisions. Supplemental insurance policies can also help, especially if your primary plan has high deductibles. Some plans offer accident or critical illness coverage, which can significantly reduce EA costs. Finally, educate yourself on what's covered and what isn't. Asking questions and keeping a record of communications with your insurance company can save you from surprise bills. Knowledge is your best defense against the financial stress of an EA visit. To make this more concrete, let's look at real-life examples. Take Sarah, a 32-year-old with employer-provided insurance. She went to the EA for severe abdominal pain, thinking her insurance would cover everything. Her bill came to $4,200, with $1,800 out of pocket. Why, she didn't realize the hospital was out of network and several lab tests weren't fully covered. After negotiating and providing proof of financial hardship, she reduced her bill by 40%. Saving $720. Then there's Mike, who went to the AA after a minor sports injury. His insurance didn't cover imaging because he hadn't used urgent care first. He ended up paying $600 for an x-ray that could have cost $120 at an urgent care clinic. Lesson learned: knowing the rules of coverage and using the right facility matters. Finally, consider an elderly patient, Mrs. Johnson, on Medicare. She thought Medicare would cover everything, but some specialist visits and medications were partially out of pocket. By consulting a Medicare counselor and reviewing her plan, she adjusted coverage and avoided future surprises. These examples show that understanding A coverage, reviewing bills carefully, and asking questions can save thousands. Being informed is the difference between a manageable medical expense and a financial nightmare. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to recap the key points. Emergency room visits can be stressful enough without worrying about massive bills. But understanding how your insurance works can make all the difference. We learned that e-bills are made up of multiple components: facility fees, physician fees, lab tests, imaging, and medications. Knowing this breakdown helps you see why costs can quickly add up. We also explored what insurance usually covers, from deductibles and copays to coinsurance and in-network versus out-of-network differences. This knowledge is crucial because assuming everything is fully covered can lead to unexpected expenses. We also discussed the most common mistakes people make: using the EO for non-emergency situations, not checking network coverage, ignoring prior authorizations, and failing to review itemized bills. Each of these mistakes is avoidable if you are informed and proactive. And speaking of being proactive, we covered cost-saving strategies that really work: choosing urgent care or telehealth when appropriate, negotiating bills, understanding out-of-pocket maximums, and exploring supplemental insurance options. Finally, real-life examples showed how these principles apply. From Sarah, who negotiated her out-of-network R bill, to Mike, who learned the importance of choosing the right facility, and Mrs. Johnson, who optimized her Medicare coverage. These stories prove that being informed can save thousands and prevent stress. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding how your insurance covers A visits, reviewing bills carefully, and making smart decisions, you can protect both your health and your finances. If this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe to Invest Harbor, and share it with friends and family, because everyone deserves to know how to avoid surprise AEA bills. Stay informed, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive into strategies to maximize your health insurance for surgeries and major medical expenses. Until then, take care of your health and your wallet.